Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Welcome, everyone, to City Alpha 3, one of the Nerd Party's dedicated Star Trek shows. I'm Phillip Gilfus, one of your illustrious co-hosts. I'm joined, as always, by Darren Moser and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, how is your end of 2019 approaching Star Trek year going?
I'm just hoping they're going to build another Millennium Gate eventually, because I remember that was a great public works project.
That's right. Just ran over that used bookstore like no one's business. A lot to look forward to in 2020. I know it's, we're not quite at New Year's Eve yet to be doing this reflecting, but, it's all on the approach. Some news / rumors that's come out this week is concerning
that's right.
What we thought was the dead Kelvin franchise, but much like Dracula has risen back from the so-called dead. And I don't have all the details in front of me. We've gotten at least a new writer / director, I guess pitching a new thing. And I swear I saw another article somewhere, which doesn't know the sourcing, so it could just be nothing. But it was like, they want to make 4 more Star Trek movies or something like that. I saw that somewhere. But anyway, just the concept. What do you guys think of the Kelvin universe at least doing one more movie?
I mean, I'll say I'm on board. I liked Star Trek Beyond. I feel that they kind of finally got into a good groove for telling kind of original stories, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of these actors. It'd be interesting, like, what do they do? Just because, in the beginning of Beyond, they're like, oh, time has passed, and it's like, okay, well, no, a lot of time has passed. So are they still on the ship? Is Sulu on the new Excelsior? Like, do they really want to go full parallel or something like that? Give us some Star Trek 6 vibes. I think it'd be interesting. Or heck, cross back over with Prime Timeline. Give us something crazy. There's a lot of opportunity. So, but I'm always down for more Star Trek.
What about you, Daniel? You're obviously a big fan of 2009 and ups and downs.
10 years ago, Daniel. 10 years ago.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I hear the news. I remain skeptical of it. It's like, okay, we've heard. This has been a 2, 3, 4 year balancing act at this point, where it's like, oh, it's coming out. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe. It is. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I guess I would. If they, gun to your head, what would you like? Yeah, sure. Give me some phaser. Yeah, that's right. Phaser to your head. I guess I'd say, yeah, give me another one. If it doesn't take anything away from any of the other Star Trek, why not? And Beyond was a bit of a course correction from Into Darkness. So I do think there is a lot of interesting opportunity to write new and interesting stories. And even like Darren was suggesting, if you wanted to even weave it back forward, we come full circle, or however you want to do it, to do something really interesting and things we haven't seen before, I'd be cool with that. And again, worst comes to worst, it comes out and it doesn't do anything or affect anything, and it's like, okay, that happened. That was a movie that happened. So yeah.
And I was reflecting. You mentioned it, but that was kind of was hitting me about this. Like, oh, we're gonna do it now. It's like, but it's been a decade. That's a long time, like in a film franchise that, I guess, okay, so let's look at the Prime TOS. So motion picture came out in what, 79?
Mm-hmm.
78, 79? So 10 years. Oh, God, I got to do math. 89, right? So I know Star Trek 4 came out in 86 or 87. So it's not 100% off track, So, if you visualize it that way, okay, but again, we're just talking about pitching at this point. Literally, we've got a writer attached to the project in 2019, which means given development and budgets, and could won't be released till 2021. And that like 12 years. And so I don't know. It just seems a bit of a stretch, like to get everyone signed, and I don't know what the contracts are.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of talent in there that's being used elsewhere. So I'm curious as well. I do think that if the studio and the people in charge got enthused about it and riled up, they could definitely do it. It would just probably cost some money. But I just think that that's kind of, it feels like that's where we're waiting. It's like somebody needs to come along because nobody there, it seems like, has any idea what should the next thing be. Maybe if somebody comes along with a great idea, maybe then everybody will fall into place. Who knows?
And folks could disagree, of course, but I think one thing about the Kelvin verse and the franchise was that, Star Trek was off TV. You had the post-Enterprise blues. And so it's like, okay, let's do a film franchise. And, ups and downs. But anyway, that was the thing. But now it's on TV again. I mean, albeit streaming. But, we have Discovery. We have Picard. We have, like, a million other shows lined up. And so when you have Star Trek on TV, I almost feel like, does the fan energy go towards movies? Of course we did it before. But then that was sort of that, the prior time we've done that is because what was on TV was becoming a movie, not a separate entire film franchise and a separate TV franchise.
That's true.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with there not being another one. I just feel like they're trying to stretch something. But hey, I know a lot of people like it, so whatever. I'd obviously go see it and host a podcast about it. Well, speaking of Star Trek movies, cough.
No.
What we're going to be talking... Yeah, I know. What we're going to be talking about today isn't really strictly Star Trek, so I suppose this could be our first non-Star Trek ever podcast.
I think I've droned on about Star Wars every once in a while, so...
Not for the entire
sure,
topic.
if you want to run for that.
But what we're going to be talking about is Galaxy Quest.
So a Star Trek movie,
Yes,
basically.
and so of course, by the time you're listening to it, this podcast, I will have already seen the documentary about Galaxy Quest because I'm going to go see it tomorrow. And I don't know when you're listening to this pod, but it won't be by then. But anyway, so I'll be interested to see that we're creating an entire documentary around this movie. And we can talk about the movie itself, though I'm kind of interested to talk about it through the Star Trek lens, of course. There's sort of the infamous convention a couple years ago where it was included among the Star Trek movies and, was rated number 8 or something. I forget. It was, as the best Star Trek movie, Galaxy Quest. So, but I don't know if you all watched it recently. It's available for renting on Prime.
Yeah, I had to pay money to watch this thing.
I know.
What is this? This is crazy.
No, there's like 15 streamings. I had to pay.
But you just own it. I owned it on, I think on Blu-ray, at least on DVD.
Okay. What cool extras are on there, Darren?
They actually have a cool little documentary about
Another
it.
one?
Oh my goodness, they're all over the place.
Yes. Well, no, that's not a documentary, but more like like the standard making of featurette. Yeah.
Daniel, watching it, and I'm sure you've probably seen it more than once. If I'm going to stereotype you as a nerd, but what do you think of it as it runs parallel or even perhaps perpendicular to Star Trek? So
we kind of all groan and roll our eyes at this idea that it's a Star Trek movie. I mean, because of the technicality, obviously, but this is clearly written by somebody who loves Star Trek. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The whole movie is kind of a love letter. And the entire premise comes out of this conception of, like, what if Shatner had to go on a real planet and fight a real alien? Like how miserable would that experience be? But so, God, this movie is so good. This movie is good on so many levels, and I do feel like initially when we were talking about the documentary, I was like, yeah, kind of like your attitude, Philip. Like, oh, what exactly is this documentary going to be about? But you watch the movie, and because I actually just watched it today, and you just like. It just fires on so many different levels, on so many different cylinders. You're just like, it works, obviously as a parody. It works as a comedy. It works as a drama. It's like it's heart. That's all. That's what I would say. The movie has so much heart in it that you can't help smile the whole way through the damn movie. And it's like, I just love. And then as a Star Trek fan, of course, because they poke fun of everything in it, and it's great. It's great. I love the movie, and just watching it again made me love it even more, like I always do every time.
Yeah, I saw, and I guess it's probably because the
I
documentary
remember
is being
that
promoted.
quote.
a quote that I've seen throughout the years. I think it's an older quote from Sir Patrick about I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, about him not going to see the movie because he thought, oh, they're just making fun of us, and I'm not gonna. But then apparently Jonathan Frakes was like, no, go see it. And he was like, and then he watched. He was like, oh no, it was great, it was fun because what the quote, I'm sure you can find it, is that it wasn't making fun of the fans, it was recognizing the value of fans, and so I thought that was interesting. But Darren, what do you think about Galaxy Quest not as a Star Trek movie? I think it's a little silly, but you can define it if you want that. But as far as it being, obviously sourced from Trek.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not a Star Trek movie. It's like Spaceballs is not a Star Wars movie, but it's still part of its humor is obviously.
Now I want to go to a Star
the
Wars convention where it's included and then beats one of the other Star Wars.
I think if it wasn't as satirical, I mean, it's definitely leaps above its satire than Galaxy Quest. But I think it's just such a fun film, and it's fun because it respects, especially the fans. Like, honestly, the fans come across really good in this whole thing. Like, they're dedicated. They're a little socially awkward, but beyond that, they. Like Sir Patrick says, like he likes the fact that at the end of the day, they save the day, and that's what makes it fun.
I did think it was interesting, like whoever wrote the movie, again, which I could research, but I'm not going to, but where they had the fans mapping out the technical thing, because...
Like, you're going to want to go down to level 32, Bob, and subsection 5, and...
I mean, I think to a viewer, they're going to be like, oh, haha, that's a thing they made up that nerds do. I'm like, no. That's real. That's an actual
slowly
thing.
Pulls out technical blueprints from behind me.
That they would actually have mapped out, in a computer program, gee, if someone made a shuttle bay and put a bunch of logos everywhere, who would do that? But anyway. And I was thinking when you were saying that, it can't be a Star Trek movie really because there's no Star Trek actors, but there's one that I didn't ever noticed, but I noticed now. Did y'all notice a Star Trek actor in there?
No, I didn't.
From Enterprise.
Oh, yes! Daniels! I did notice
Crewman Daniels!
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was... As soon as he popped up... What was he... Which character?
He was one of the aliens.
Yeah, but I can't... all the aliens had, a thing. I can't remember what his thing was. Yeah. But anyways, when he popped up, I'm like... Hey, I do recognize that guy.
And of course, Daniel, I know you have double love for this movie because there's a certain actor from one of your favorite television franchises in it.
From one of everybody's favorite television franchises. I assume we're talking about Rainn Wilson playing.
Of course.
Yes, Dwight Schrute is now, by the transitive property, maybe part of the Star Trek canon. So, he already was.
Whoa, twice, that's a bit of a stretch there.
No, it's great to see. Actually, I was amazed.
That's got to be one of his early.
Oh yeah,
it was.
Yeah. I was amazed at a lot of the actors that were in this. Of course, the big ones like oh my God, seeing
Tim Allen,
not Tim obviously, but
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, of course, and Sigourney
Tony
Weaver.
Award winner. Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah.
Tony Award winner.
Was that pre-Monk? I think it was.
Yes. It had to have been.
Okay.
It was 1999, so yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And also, God, I'm going to forget his name too. I'm going to have such trouble doing this right now. The guy who played Guy.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, of course.
Yeah, who is huge now.
Yeah.
And I think he's had not to go on a tangent, but he has had an interesting career because, in this movie, he's the comic relief, and that has sort of been his thing. But, about 5 years from this, or 6 years, he started doing some dramatic stuff. And then
Moon. Oh, my gosh. Moon.
Sam Rockwell actually has a huge range. But anyway, let's just go ahead. Sorry.
Obviously, this is an early hit for Justin Long, who's pretty big now. Or, has been kind of pretty big.
Yeah, that's kind of starting him off.
He was the Will Wheaton of his time.
So lots of good talent in the movie. It's and everybody is funny and does a really good job.
Sigourney Weaver, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, and Patrick is those guy you always know what he looks like, but you can never remember his name. Patrick. No, not Patrick. Gosh, I'm blanking on it now. It's the leader of the Thermians.
Oh, yes.
Mathazar, Enrico.
Yes,
Enrico.
Some sitcom of his I always used to watch.
Like, you always see him. Just Shoot Me. He was on Just Shoot Me. Yeah. And Veronica Mars, and he's one of those things you've seen like in a ton of places, and you're like, oh, that guy, and he just hams it up as Mathazar
all the main Thermians, because when I see the documentary, they all have like the main three. Right. Like, I know those people. Like, I can't tell you their names or what they've been in, but I know them.
It's you, guy.
What's my last name?
Oh man, this movie is so quotable. It's so quotable.
It is.
Well, I think our favorite quote, judging by past experience, is while Tim Allen is on the planet and people are giving some suggestions of how to defeat the rock monster.
Construct a rudimentary lathe.
Get off the line!
Get off the line, guy.
Oh man.
It's just, I think you hit it on the head, though. A lot of times, comedy movies, I feel the humor of it is directly proportional to how quotable it is. Mm-hmm. And there's just so many great quotable lines in this, and it's just, and they're just, you could tell this cast had fun making this movie.
Because it is one of those things where if you look at the credits, because I know you think of the main characters, but there's a lot of comic actors, the ones we've talked about, whose names we can't remember. There's at least a dozen comic
their
actors
timing
is
goes into
playing the Thermians and everything. And so, I think
termites,
one of my yes, but I think one of my favorite reactions is the the historical documents. What'd you think about Gilligan's Island? You just get to
those poor. That almost could have been an ad lib. I wouldn't put it past them. Those poor people, and they're just like, we got to get out of here.
So let's kind of talk about the core Trek concepts, both from parody and drama. And of course, I think the one to me that draws the most core is Tim Allen is Bill Shatner.
Oh man,
yeah. What do you guys? Because I think one of the things this documentary is going to explore. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently, lordy, from Ghostbusters, the director, the actor
Harold Ramis,
yes, was originally going to direct, and I don't know all the drama, but apparently he did not want Allen. Apparently he wanted Kevin Kline, which I cannot not see him. I don't know how I always see him as very physical. He's a great actor. But anyway.
I was going to say it feels more 90s to have Kevin Kline, but then I'm like, not more than Tim Allen.
I just don't see him like...
he also wanted Alec Baldwin or Steve Martin.
I could see Baldwin.
I could see Baldwin, yeah.
But I don't know if he would do it over the top. Because I don't think Tim Allen was doing Shatner. He was doing we all knew Shatner was on the edges of but he was still doing his own personality. I never felt like he was imitating Shatner. He was just that kind of actor, and we've seen that kind of actor in other things besides Star Trek, so that wasn't bad.
I think too that there's a lot of meta going on here. I think there's a lot of personality similarities between Tim Allen and William Shatner. Maybe why he was picked, because I think he definitely I don't think that pompous, boisterous attitude comes hard for Tim Allen. I think that's just kind of part of who he is, and it works really well. Obviously, playing this character, and I think that's why it was such a good fit. He just like Shatner. They both have this level of charm, which kind of offsets their sort of annoying blusteriness. And so there's just enough where you're like, okay, I can see why all of his friends hate him, and I would probably hate him too if he was my friend. But now I'm going to root for him, and he learns a big lesson at the end, and it's all nice and good. But it's like, oh man.
And he's also, I don't remember how many years this was after Home Improvement had ended, but Home Improvement was he is the one who canceled it. He's like they were like, I suppose
season 12.
Yeah, they wanted to write him an ungodly large check, and he's like, no, we need to go out on our on top, and I just think it's
We've
fine.
already lost one kid.
But no, it's I think it worked perfectly, through any ideas.
Because I do like, especially in the movie, where they don't have, like I said, there's so much meta. But anyway, I like how they try to establish him early on as, he's the Sigourney character. I don't remember all the character's name, but Sigourney Weaver's character is all like, oh,
Gwen DeMarco, yeah.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, he's a jerk, because you have the character names and you have their character names. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's a jerk, but Jason, right, that's his name? But anyway, that he's good with the fans, and you see him, like, he actually knows some of the episodes, and he's interacting with the fans. I mean, later he gets, depressed and everything. It's kind of a little more jerky. But I like that they have that charm, and it's almost like, without to go too deep and rehashing everything, with the whole Shatner and even Nimoy stuff about during TOS, like, you could see it where he's not necessarily being purposefully jerky.
He's just kind of like has his limit, and it's like, and he wants to be treated like a human being,
Yeah, but I mean, like, even in the beginning where he's just like, because, when he first arrived, even though he's late, he's still, trying to jazz everyone up.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
And even though he's late, everybody just goes crazy when he comes out on stage. Like, It doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm. And so, but yeah, and I sort of do like the whole, I was almost tempted to watch the
Jason. Peter. Quincy. Tagger. Jason Nesmith.
I was almost tempted to watch the SNL Get a Life skit, because we sort of get that with his, when he's talking to, that fan there, or the fan group there.
Right.
It's just a TV show. I know it's a TV show. I know it's all real. I knew it!
Yeah, I know. It's like, there's a small part of us that would all do that if that actually. I mean, we're all truthful with ourselves. Like, not that we ever believe that, but if for some reason, oh man.
And I do also love his sort of, in the the sort of the away team part of the movie where he's just doing like random tumbles throughout the night.
Yeah,
everyone's just walking normal, and they're like, "Does that help a little?"
So you managed to get your shirt off. Yeah.
Now, what about you, Daniel? I know you're always a Spock guy. What do you think of Alan Rickman as Leonard Nimoy? Ish as Spockish, all that. What do you think the parallels are there?
Yeah,
or at least the parody.
It's definitely ish, because from what we know about the character, he's not at all Spock-like. But he is definitely the alien on the crew who's unlike everyone else. Alan Rickman, is a genius. Like, Alan Rickman was amazing, and he's so good at being miserable in this. It was funny. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she said she vaguely might have seen it in the past, or maybe it was on TV or something. She goes, "Man, it seems like they pulled a lot of Snape out of this, because he's just grumpy and miserable and unhappy." And I'm like, yeah. I think that maybe Alan Rickman was just good at that sort of stuff, but he's so good in it, and I don't think the movie would be as good without Alan Rickman, honestly.
No, I don't think. I mean, we all have heard the rumors that they were kind of starting to gear up towards a sequel, and then Alan Rickman passed, and it kind of really just put the brakes, because he's such an integral part.
Yeah, and so what do you think of because Nimoy sort of had the I am not Spock book, and then years later I am Spock, the whole sort of struggle with trying to rise above this iconic character. So, but it's interesting that much like Spock and Vulcans, you sort of see that he has this cult following inside of the cult following, both with the fans and with the aliens.
Yeah, I really liked, obviously, of course, the subplot with him, and throughout the whole film, it's played so smugly, like, I don't want to say the line, and of course, the movie comes back and hits you in the gut with the emotional payoff of, like, of course, I'm going to say the line for this man who just died, who was about to die, and that's why I think the movie is equally as good at being a comedy as it is a drama, because you'll go from laughing to, like, maybe getting hit in the gut punch here. It's so good at playing with those two separate tones, and that's one of those ways. It's like every time, of course, like, I laughed so hard when by Grabthar's hammer, what a savings. I love that line so much. It's so funny. But then at the end, he really, emotionally says it, and it's such a great payoff for such a long-running gag in the film. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's obvious, of course, but I'll might as well state why it's obvious. I think the reason, or one of the reasons, why this movie has so much fuel, especially for Star Trek fans, is because that's sort of the whole message, in Alan Rickman's character, but throughout the movie, is that, it's this stupid TV show that a lot of people like for some reason, but they realize that there's more to it, that even, maybe it was whatever, but now they realize, there is a lot of meaning to it, and these people believe in it, and then maybe there is something to believe that was in this thing, and there's more to it than just a TV show, and I think that is sort of that whole part of the message of the movie, that the power of...
Yeah, it's kind of interesting watching it in 2019, with the level of cynicism that's just kind of pervasive. It's just so heartwarming. I can't think of any other words to describe it other than just so good at being charming and meaningful and full of emotion. So,
yeah, because for me, for someone who's very much into the Starfleet philosophy, about the one line about early on, we're we discovered your historical documents. Our planet was ravaged and whatever. But then watching this, we built our entire society on what the show was about, and I was like, yeah. That's how it works. But Darren, what do you think are sort of the other parallels with some of the other main characters with either TOS or other Star Trek?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love how... Let's talk about, Guy Kwan. Just the
That's not even his real last name.
I know. But,
I was going to get the nickname, too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But it's just... It's funny how I like how, he's just super chill in the beginning part, where he's just hey guys, how's it going? It's no big deal. But then when it all starts to hit the fan, he has his moment where he's I'm not that guy. This isn't real. Oh, did you see what happened? And then they have to talk him through that. And that's just such a fun, way of going about that.
And I can't tell whether Daryl Mitchell's character, and maybe it's supposed to be a bunch of things, because he's the kid in the show, so is he supposed to be the Wesley, the boy wonder? But then, I guess...
But he's way young. He's more like the Webster, who we know has been in Star Trek, as with Worf,
That's right. That's true. He's the Naomi Wildman. I don't know. But yeah, but I did it was interesting, based on your movements. I still think that is still one of my funniest scenes is going out of the space dock, because you have the iconic motion picture, ship out of the dock, and then starts to list.
That's such a great scene.
And then everyone starts to kind of crane their necks a little, and you're anytime. It's just you want to fly the ship, move. Tommy Weber is... It's just young Laredo, you have grown. It's just, it's, again, another character, another great quotable bit. But, again, it's just, I think they had to have that character. It wouldn't have worked if you didn't have the child actor that became, that just grew up and looks totally different, or the, it just, they hit the archetypes, but they hit them in a way that was fresh. I don't know how, but they did.
As far as the whole the away team with the, I think the whole, it's interesting just as a writing the script, because having not seen it, I've seen it recently, but not in the past few months, but and I'd forgotten when they beam down and you see the cute little things.
Right.
And having seen it before, what's going to happen. But I forgot that Guy calls it, which I think adds a layer to it.
They're cute now, but they're going to get mean, and they're going to get ugly, and there's going to be a million more of them. It's that's exactly what happened.
And I love that calling it sort of, plays with the audience expectations. Even by doing that, what you're going to know. But, he's haven't either of you even watched the show before?
Yeah.
It's
Do you
so
guys
good.
even watch the show?
It's so good because it's just always just layers on layers on layers with this movie, because this is like, of course, are we now referencing like the actual adventure? Is it like of course it's all the human characters that are shoved into a shuttlecraft and they go down to this planet. They're all completely inept. They have no idea what they're doing. Like Lazarus has the tricorder upside down, and it's like it's so good. It's so funny, and it's like it's just somebody who loves this sort of storytelling, telling it in a fun way and a new way, and like ways that normally we couldn't see on Star Trek, at least not to this degree and to this level. So it's man, that away mission was fantastic. I love one of my favorite quotable lines is when they beam up the pig, and it turned inside out, and it exploded. So fun. I lose it at that every
Did he just say it exploded? Hold please.
Hold, please.
so good.
And, it's actually interesting. It's making me think when you're talking about all the comedians that are on this, and I don't, I'd never really thought about that in the lens of how much of that super memorable quotable dialogue was improvised, or was it? I mean, I still feel it had a great script, regardless of where those lines go. But now I'm kind of almost wondering, like, which lines were just in the moment comedy gold. I mean, maybe Gwen's, F that in the chompers, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what percentage of the most memorable lines were
Well, it was a
improvised.
lousy episode.
Whoever wrote this episode should be shot.
So there are two instances. So I actually rented the movie from Amazon. I'm curious because you said, Darren, specifically, her F that moment
Right.
is very obviously dubbed. There was one other...
Right. Oh, it is. Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
you can
okay.
tell.
Paid money for this.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
okay.
tell she says F, but it's dubbed. Screw that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know if that... There's one other time that happens in the movie, and I didn't know if it was dubbed, like, just blatantly and obvious, just because it's kind of with the theme of the film.
Nah, I think they just backed off of it because you get one, right? You get
think-
one on PG-13.
Well, yeah, but not... this might have been before that rule, because I don't think there's any F-bombs at all. But you know what? I do remember hearing
True.
a while ago
Well, but
Oh,
now
it's
not.
PG.
that it was supposed to be a more mature film. And it was kind of re-edited, rejiggered at the end to be...
That's true. I mean,
something
you
a
could
little
see
more.
how, like, the darker moments are pretty dark. Like, they're surrounded by the comedy, but if you could easily recut this into, like, a much more disturbing, like... I mean, there could have been a whole scene about the Thermians dying and getting wiped out and the genocide on their planet. I mean, that happens. We just kind of don't talk about it.
Well, there's a torture scene. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, I mean, I think the moment of when the general forces Tim Allen to explain that it's
Right.
fake,
Oh, man.
I mean, that's a dramatic scene. There's zero comedy in that, just that, and it's so, again, this is whether it's the directing or whatever, the actors, all the aliens, because it's all ridiculous the way they talk and laugh and everything, but they're all on the same page of how to be that alien species, and they can then make it normal, where even, whether it's laughing, crying, because even in that
Right.
dramatic moment, he's still talking like an idiot as far as that alien, but...
Like someone who ran the auto-translate through about 3 dozen times in
Yeah.
Google. And I think also with the Thermians, it was smart because we see them as aliens and we see them when they turn off their cloaking fields. But the fact that the majority of the time they are basically identical human-looking
Right.
really helps them convey emotion. Because I think if it was like a big blobby Thermian dying when he does his Grapthar hammer line, like it's not quite the same. We can't really connect with it in the same way.
And I wonder I don't know if it's a director's choice or who, costuming or whatever, that they all went with, we wanted them all to look like Spock.
Yeah, bowl cuts.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. They do. Yeah. Well, they were termites or Dalmatians or something. I don't know. I was kind of hungover, but this movie's just so gold. Like from the limousine to like it's just like every 5 seconds there's a great moment.
And this has to be in the documentary, but I swear my memory is Sam Rockwell improvised that scream.
Oh, when like it turns inside out, he's like, ah!
No,
oh,
like,
when they
all
just
finished beam
teleported.
down.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're all
right.
standing there.
It's so
No, I could feel it.
It's comedic gold after comedic gold. So it's just like this traumatic thing happened. These aliens come in.
Yeah.
He lets out this really delayed scream.
Because you turn down like, hey guys.
And then Tony Shalhoub shows up and he's like, well, that's a hell of a thing. Like,
Yeah. And because, again, and you also get a lot of foreshadow and payoff. Like, foreshadowing the fact that he doesn't see them as aliens and he's the one who has the love interest, and then all sorts of, oh man, just.
Yeah, I just love that they just interesting character work. I'm sure that's not, well, I'm sure it was in the script, but like, you're just going to be a pothead for no discernible reason. But a dependable one.
Right.
Like I said, you always knew your lines and everything, but like, he's like,
You always do your lines. You never missed a mark.
he's literally like reading the techno babble in that one scene, like, yeah, we've got to recharge the anti. Did I get it right? Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, it can't take much more. They're telling me it's ships falling apart. And people are like flying in the background. Oh, okay, here's the only thing I think we missed is we didn't have a barrel roll.
That's true.
Well,
But,
Tim Allen barrel rolled plenty. So it's
Well,
okay.
but I mean under a door.
Not
We
in the
need to
end
go
room,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and
You don't get enough group hugs in the main engineering.
what was I going to
Yeah,
say? Oh, I also love the fact that they, I don't know how much it cost, but like they built the whole bridge on pneumatics, so they were actually shaking when they're shaking. The whole bridge is. It's not the whole like and then the camera shifts. Like no, like
they
they
did the next
actually.
gen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they wanted to go real, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, because the quote unquote realism in those first couple battles, where they don't know what they're doing, and it shows, and the ship, the Protector gets shot up and all that stuff. I mean, like it's all very realistic, in that he basically like half destroys the ship, after that attack. And I just thought it's all.
Is that when after they go through the minefield and they like barely make it through?
Yes, yeah, and like it blows up the engine and all that stuff, and they're in the conference room and they're getting
Hold
the
down
whole
that
list.
turbo button, Tommy. He's like, it's not for sustained use. It's for quick boosts only. And he's like, oh, like you would know. How would you know? It's just, again, it's funny because, like a movie like this would only work because it's this original, quote unquote, property. Like, like if you tried to do the same thing but directly with Star Trek, it just doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's this mutual middle ground of it's not a real show, it's not something that we're actually attached to, but we can see enough connections to empathize and connect with it. And I mean, a lot of people were like, we would watch this if you actually shot a show like this, like retro 60s. Oh man, that would be great.
Because we actually don't see that much of the original show in the movie.
That's true. You just see a couple of clips, and then the very beginning where they're watching episode. What was it? Episode 62. The first time you've seen episode 62 since it was released in 1982.
Now,
in
that
episode
threw me
62.
That threw me off because I'm like, come on now, we would have seen it since then. But anyway,
Yeah, that was weird. They said it was the final
Lost
episode and nobody saw it.
Or it was like a two-part. He said like something like a
'cause
two-parter.
it's
So
to be
maybe
continued.
watching it together. I don't know. Oh, that's right. It was like the last. episode.
Fortunately, we've never had this problem. But can you imagine how brutal it would be if a Star Trek show was canceled mid episode like that? That would be so brutal.
Oh, mid two-parter. Like end of season 3 of Next Gen, basically. And you're just like
we never knew what happened. Like they don't know
man.
they don't know what this device.
I don't want to
is.
go there. I don't want to go to that dark place, Daniel. Don't make me.
I was just thinking about the scene where Taggart, is that his name? Taggart, Captain Taggart.
yes, Jason Taggart.
He goes up
Jason
there.
Nesmith, Peter.
Yeah,
Taggart, but
he
yes.
goes up there for the first time, and he's still under the incorrect assumption.
Yeah.
The hangover.
And he's like, wow, you guys do a really good job. Like normally it's just plywood, and,
And then he's like, sorry, got to stay in the moment. Yes. Full screen ahead and blah blah blah.
It's so good at balancing like silliness and serious stakes. It's so this movie rides that line so well and so narrowly. It's amazing to me that it works.
Well, and I think that's brilliant that they started it that way. That the first time he sees it, that we see it as an audience, he doesn't believe it. Whereas then the second time, when all the rest of the people come up, they have the reaction that we would have, like, "Oh my gosh, this is real." But I wanted to talk for a moment about Sigourney Weaver. I feel we haven't talked about her too much,
and she has one job,
and she's gonna do it.
But she's gonna do it. Okay.
And I love that, because I often am watching this and I forget it's Sigourney Weaver, and I don't know if it's the wig or just because we don't see her in comedic roles that often, but. It's like she has that sci-fi pedigree from like Alien and such, but
Ghostbusters,
and Ghostbusters, and which I guess is a comedy, but
she's
you know what I mean. Where
busty and other.
There's that one article about me and my boobs and how they fit into my suit. Well, and she does great, and again, I think it's those main three. If Alan Rick, there's so many names floating around. Alan Rickman, Tim Allen, or Sigourney Weaver didn't carry it, it wouldn't have worked. But they each hit their role so perfectly, and just like her interacting with the fans that are like dressed up like Gwen, but some look just like her, some don't, and she's just like posing with them, doing the whatever pose she did, and it just all works so well, and I think she did a great job.
One scene that I like, it's almost more of a next gen than a TOS, but I suppose it's almost any Star Trek. The whole first scene with all the cast on the bridge, the whole cut off the channel.
Oh, and she's like, "Oh yes, yeah."
I mean, that is so. I mean, a general audience can appreciate, but for the Star Trek, how many scenes has that happened? Whether it's Khan or whatever, and it's just like. Secret plan. All right, channel open.
He's like, "No, I'm trying to tell you, you are on."
So I'm as stupid as I am ugly.
I gave you the symbol. It's like, yeah, you gave me the "we're dead" symbol, and I agree with you. It's just, and I also like how, again, there's enough technology and stuff that there's no barrier of like we don't understand the villain or he talks different or we don't understand the Thermians. Like. They keep it simple enough where it's like, okay, there's enough crazy future sci-fi-ness, but we don't need to understand it. It's just we're just along for the ride. Like, I mean, I sometimes I'll think like, okay, wait, they get into a limo and then it kind of takes off. What is that? Like, is that a ship? Is that like a transport pod and he just passes out? But again, it doesn't matter. You just look past it.
I like that.
You shouldn't come to my house, though, guy. You shouldn't. It shouldn't.
We've got your limousine. But I do like, it's very meta about the Omega-13, which is really the whole point. It's the whole, whatever. But even the chompers, like the fact that in Star Trek, like in many, but there's just stuff that shows up in an episode or is mentioned.
I would say like exploding consoles is a great example of the chompers. It's like, why is there so much current running through your console that the ship gets hit and it explodes in your face?
It's why it's a beer distillery is also the engine room.
And it's Sigourney Weaver's character who says, "This is a poorly written episode."
Right.
That's what this was. This is just stupid.
And it's funny because when you see the episode, like when they're watching the clip to get the timing, it's moving so slow. And then when it's like in the real version, it's like doom, 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 and you're like, well, that's sad.
And the wall of fire.
I like that a lot of the solutions to a lot of their problems come from episodes in the show. Like when Tim and Alan Rickman fight each other.
You're acting just like you did in episode 34, you steel-singing hack.
That's good stuff. That's meta on meta on meta. It's like 4 levels down where it's like, wow, this is like really smart writing. It's really impressive.
And I like
there's a parallel to that though on the away team where they're like, why does this plan sound familiar? Well, how is he going to project a hologram of a
He's like, is this like episode 32? Why does it matter, guy? Because I died on episode 32. Well, I like how the solutions come from 3 places. They come from the fans. They come from the show, And they come from the actors actually just having good ideas. Like when Tony Shalhoub beams the rock monster up. Like, that wasn't in an episode. That was him just like, I got a good idea, guys. It's going to be great. And he's like, it's the little things in life that...
Which, and not to get too whatever about it, but that's a very Star Trek thing. It's also a very Doctor Who thing. But anyway, instead of doing, I mean, there's violence involved, but instead of, because Alan
hard
Rickman
way.
once just gonna, charge. He's like, let's think about this.
He's like, that's suicide. I'm already dead. What if you're the plucky comic relief? Do you ever think about that?
Plucky. Huh?
I think they give us just enough of the original show again. Like, again, just it tells its story and it knows when to stop. Like, I love how we get that little, like, continuing adventures now after, but then it's done. Like, we don't need any more than that. We didn't need any more than the beginning episode we saw. Like, not that we didn't want more, but it told its story and then it was, moving on.
Jane Doe as...
Yeah, Jane Doe. and what was it? He's the new security guard's name. Something, like, really extreme. Yes. Chief Rock Intersol. He's got the V cut and the medallion.
I guess he became the plucky comic relief. Yeah,
well, and with the fans, like we were saying, I mean, we get great moments there too, where they're like, the mom has him take out the trash at the worst opportune moment, and when he calls up like on the message boards, he's like, "Hey guys, there's a level 3 alert. No time for pleasantries." And it's like, do you guys practice this? Like, is this your weekend?
I mean,
so Go ahead.
If this was set more in modern times, they all would have been doing a podcast during this. So.
Oh, man, that would have been amazing.
That's true. That's probably true.
Like, we're talking about something, and it's like, boop. What? What is this? Boop. Holding up the communicator. Hey, guys, pause for a second. Hello?
I actually wanted to bring up that scene where he goes to take out the trash, because again, this is where this movie is so smart. Where like you're watching it, and all of a sudden the countdown's going and going. They think it's going to stop.
It's super high tension right there.
Yeah, I know.
It keeps going, and they're like, "Oh my god." And then it cuts to him taking out the trash, and you're like, "Oh, he's going to make it back right in time," but he doesn't. That totally subverts your expectations. He doesn't make it back at all. The timer just stops because it never reaches 0 on the show.
I love that.
Because on the show it always stops at 1.
Because I'd forgotten that, actually, by the way. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, yeah, there you go.
So good. And they're hugging each other, and it's like, oh, that's right. We never hit 0. So, of course, they don't even know what happens when you hit 0. It's so good.
Again, it's just, it's like you look at it and you're like, this movie, I think I was reading a little bit on like the Wikipedia article, and when they were pitching it and trying to get it, made, some people were liking it. They're like, okay, it's either the best idea or it's the worst idea. Like, you could easily do this terribly. But it's amazing when you look at a movie like Galaxy Quest and you're like, how does this movie work so well on the drama, the comedy, the cast? Like I think everybody realizes this was a unique, like, this wouldn't happen again. Like, the fact that all these things came together at this time to make this movie was rare.
Yeah, because, I mean, as the obvious to state, it works as well. It works as a movie for a general audience. Because, it's funny, it's sad, it's all the things a movie should be. But if you understand everything behind it, it works like 5 to 10 times better. Because you're everything they're throwing out there.
If you're a fandom fan of any fandom, then you're gonna get, oh man, now I almost want them to do like a sequel that's totally different, like the same thing, but like superhero Marvel fan. So like Galaxy Quest, but for superheroes. Oh man, that would be fun.
And that's the thing. That's what makes Galaxy Quest so special. Like, think about how many scary movies there were, or not another teen movie, or all of these,
right.
Like
the
all of
spoofier.
these spoofy parody. Like,
but they're like dumb spoof,
right? And the only other movie that I can think that exists that is successful like Galaxy Quest, but even in a different way, is Airplane. Which is
right.
very specifically a spoof movie on one very specific movie, but it's hard. I think it's really hard to balance like like we already talked about the drama, the comedy, the reference to the original material. Like, I think that's a very difficult thing to do, and I think Galaxy Quest exists in a place all its own. I don't think there's any other movie like it. I don't think no other movie exists like Galaxy Quest that lampoons and respects and loves its audience in the same way that Galaxy Quest does. And it's a special movie, I think, for sure.
The only thing I can think of, and it's not my genre, so Darren, maybe you can speak better to it, is Scream. Because to me, I never get the satire parts of Scream.
It's homage instead of satire.
Well, because to me, Scream is just a horror movie. Like, to me, like, I don't often get. I mean,
but it was making fun of the tropes at the time. But it
still
was also its own thing.
You know, so that's why, like, that you can still be a straight movie, to use a phrase I'm making up, but then also have a layer for something that you can appreciate.
I'd say another one that's similar is Fanboys on the Star Wars side. Not as like fantastical, satirical, but the fact that it's technically this fictional story. Basically, these guys like trying to break into Lucasfilm to steal Episode 1 before it premieres. But in the same way as Galaxy Quest, it plays on the jokes of the fans, and that know everything, that hate the Star Trek fans. They have the rivalry, and they have the crazy van. And
who played who was in that movie? Somebody was either in the movie from Star Trek or played the rival Star Trek guy.
William Shatner is in it.
William Shatner is in it, yes. But before they get to that part, I'm remembering that there was like they met up with a bunch of nerds that were the Star Trek nerds. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen,
believe.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Seth Rogen is. But it has let's see. Kristen Bell, Christopher Marquette, Sam Huntington. Yeah. So it has a lot of, good. Again, like I know it. If you were putting this next to Galaxy Quest, you wouldn't see any connection. But I would say in the same spirit of a film that is not taking its source material quite too seriously, but is telling a fun story and also includes the fandom, I'd say Fanboys is kind of the counterpoint.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that's a good example. I don't think it's as successful.
No,
but it's also a very different movie, so it's kind of apples to oranges sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a little different. I was thinking when we were talking about it at the start of the show, I would love to kind of dissect Spaceballs versus Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I was going to say, at one end of the spectrum, you kind of have Fanboys, and at the other end, you have Spaceballs, and there's nothing really in the middle that lines up with Galaxy Quest. But, oh man, Galaxy Quest versus Spaceballs, that's a good thought.
I mean, they're both very good at what they do, but what they do is very different, so it's kind of hard, but that would be fun.
Heavy-handed versus subtle, I would say, but yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was just thinking of the scene at the end.
Because Spaceballs has beaming. It does have elements of Star Trek, but it's the vast majority of it is Star Wars.
Yes.
But the almost not the final scene, but near the end with the general. Because he dies like 3 times in this movie.
Yes,
but that's
Sarah's,
fine.
Yeah,
yeah, Sarah. But like where he, it's hard to not think of the other Sarahs. But anyway, where he comes in disguised as Tony Shalhoub, and then shoots everyone, and they go back in time. Blah, blah. Isn't that is a Discovery scene? Isn't it? Wasn't there a thing where she was having visions that someone would come aboard the bridge, and then someone did?
There was the short Trek episode where Mudd, also played by Rainn Wilson, comes on board and kills everybody on the bridge.
Right.
That's it. That's what you're thinking.
Didn't she have a vision of someone that was going to shoot
no,
everyone?
there was. It wasn't. Was that a short Trek? I thought that was a whole episode.
Yeah.
There was the
you're
episode.
right. I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
that was a whole episode.
And only
but there's another one, right?
And it wasn't Burnham, but it was Stamets was the only one who wasn't affected by the loop, and he would.
No,
but I know what you're talking about.
I know
was
what it is.
Similar
this
scene.
is what I'm thinking of. It was the Section 13 guy who was taken over, was going to come on board and shoot everyone, and he did. But because you remember they kept having visions, or
I think
but anyway,
it must have been Michael having visions through the time, or the time crystal, episode or something, and they're starting to see.
But that was
so they ripped it off from Galaxy Quest, is what you're saying. I totally understand.
That's what I'm saying. When what's his face Section 13 guy comes on board, like because he literally comes in the back or however you define it.
Well, wait, guys. Section 31, Omega 13. Take the numbers and reverse them. Oh, it's like it was preordained.
Omega alert. Oh, Omega directive now in effect.
Oh man, there's too many parallels. It's not coincidence.
There's the episode parallels, and so that was.
Oh, jeez.
Pull
up, Phillip, pull up.
All right. So, final thoughts, Darren, on Galaxy Quest as a love letter to Star Trek.
Oh, it so is. I mean, we've said nothing but praise for this film, and I have yet to really find anything I don't like about it. It's such a well-made collection in a bottle. Do I want more? Do I want them to do something different or continue it? I don't know. I think it would have to be the right thing. I think that would be difficult, but I'm looking forward to. I eventually want to purchase the documentary. When I'm not able to see it like you are as of this recording tomorrow, but I think it's also stood the test of time. Where we're still talking about this, we're still remembering it, and it's 20 years old. Like that's it. Oh man, it feels. I don't want to think about that part, but but it's a great film.
Star Trek, so.
And I think. I need to pop it in more often. I think, I need to be like, oh, you know what? I need to watch Galaxy Quest again because, it doesn't disappoint the entire run.
The only bad thing is when the ship crashes, I'm like, they totally killed people. I mean, there's no way it crashed. A lot of cars got destroyed and then it smashed over, Anyway, what about you, Daniel? Final thoughts on Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, I mean, I can only echo what Darren said. It's like... It's so good. And I was thinking, too, that 1999, this is the same year that The Phantom Menace came out. This is the same year that The Matrix came out.
That was a good year.
It was a great year for movies, but this doesn't feel like a movie from 1999, like at all. Like I don't get any of that sort of...
This could have been made today.
It could have been made today. There would be no difference at all. And it feels like a timeless movie. It really, really does. And it's again, I don't know how to express this more than I've already talked about, but it's just full of heart, and it's just full of love, I think, for the property and for the people, and it's such a good, happy, fun film. I just can't think of anything bad about it, like you, Darren. It's just you start the movie, you start laughing, and maybe you'll cry in the middle, and then maybe you'll laugh, and maybe you'll cry.
I mean, even it starts at 4:3 in this little tiny. And then I actually read. I didn't realize that it actually changes aspect ratio to its rightful aspect ratio only when they get to the planet, like when it's all unveiled. But it's kind of squished before that, so they even have a bigger reveal.
Yeah, so it's so good, so good. Watch the movie if you haven't watched it yet, which would be surprising. Watch it again if you haven't watched it in a while, like I'm sure a lot of us haven't. And just have some fun. Have a good time, and you won't regret it. So, yeah, Galaxy Quest is great.
Yes. Well, what more can be said? So, folks, watch Galaxy Quest, watch Star Trek, and your lives will be better. So, Darren, if folks want to learn about how they can... learn all the skills to be a tech sergeant, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DRSCIFI. Never give up.
And Daniel, if people want to know the fine art of navigating a minefield, where can they find you?
You want me to drive closer, Phillip? They can find me on Twitter at 1UpDan. That's the number one, not the word.
Is it quite possible that you could not hit every single one?
Or when he pushes the button for turbo, it's like, woo!
All right, and if folks want to talk to me about how my shirt keeps falling off during this podcast, they can find me on Twitter at NCPublicServant. Well, until next time, I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on City Alpha 3.
Charge!